So, what did Shakespeare know, and how did he know it? When did he know it? Who did he know? And why did he wish to subtly infuse so much of this knowledge into his plays? These are all questions prompted by the wealth of evidence for Shakespeare's French connections. What we have discovered is the degree to which unconscious bias and conscious prejudice has too often warped scholarly judgments, as Ross has just been demonstrating, especially under the influence of the new historicists who affect to scorn what they call source studies, and the intertextualists who wish to dispense with any talk of the author altogether. The strategic silences, airy dismissals, specious arguments, and ideological manoeuvring are comparable to the strategies we discussed last year in exploring Much Ado About Italy. Looking for topicalities or hunting for authors is regarded as hopelessly old-fashioned and unsophisticated. It appears to have taken over 30 years for Richmond's work on the French Connection to be cited with some respect. And Richard Hillman, who is the first mainstream scholar, and I only discovered this myself about 10 days ago, so he has actually written about Lombin. So he's the first scholar in 50 years, so far as I know, to endorse the findings of Georges Lombin. But he's obviously embarrassed to find himself in the company of authorship heretics like Lefranc and Lombin. He's anxious to point out that he came to the same conclusion, but by a different route, when he discovered that Belforest had written a poem, La Pastorale Amoureuse, which was composed as a tribute to his patrons, the de Tournon de Roussillon family, Helen's parents. So these two quotes will make my point. Just Dalder's review of Richmond's book makes no mention of his extensive treatment of Love's Labour's Lost or Macbeth, not a whisper. Instead, he reveals his own prejudices when he says, one would surely look for causes primarily in events happening at home, rather than anything happening in France. And Richard Hillman betrays his own embarrassment when he says, obviously, my study is less concerned with the identities and personal politics of authors than with the ways by which texts acquired meaning for their audience, even if the means by which authors acquired certain kinds of knowledge sometimes obtrude unavoidably. So it's precisely these unavoidable obtrusions of certain kinds of knowledge which we have been covering today. Henry V may seem remote from the personalities and events we have been focusing on, but a number of scholars have made the case that Shakespeare's King Henry is shadowed by the contemporary figure of Henry of Navarre, and that the Duke of Burgundy's lament over the ravaged state of France, which we are about to hear, was still topical in the 1590s, after 30 years of civil war in France. Certainly, it's a testimony to Shakespeare's deep love for France, a love which is transposed in the final scene to Henry's wooing of Catherine de Valois. The king declares, I love France so well that I won't part with a village of it. So, Angus will be the Duke of Burgundy, Annabelle will be Catherine, Emma will be her lady Alice, and Mark will be Henry.
My duty to you both, on equal love, great kings of France and England, that I have laboured with all my wits, my pains, and strong endeavours to bring your most imperial majesties unto this bar and royal interview, your mightiness on both parts best can witness. Since then my office hath so far prevailed, that face to face and royal eye to eye you have congreted, let it not disgrace me, if I demand before this royal view what rub or what impediment there is, why that the naked, poor, and mangled piece dear nurse of arts and joyful births, should not in this best garden of the world our fertile France put up her lovely visage? Alas, she hath from France too long been chased, and all her husbandry doth lie on heaps, corrupting in its own fertility. Her vine, the merry cheerer of the heart, unpruned dies, her hedges even pleached, like prisoners, wildly overgrown with hair, put forth disordered twigs, her fallow leaves, the darnel, hemlock, and rank fumitory doth root upon, while that the coulter rusts, that should deracinate such savagery. The even mead, that erst brought sweetly forth the freckled cowslip, burnet, and green clover, wanting the scythe, all uncorrected, rank, conceives by idleness, and nothing teems but hateful docks, rough thistles, kexes, burrs, losing both beauty and utility. And as our vineyards, fallows, meads, and hedges, defective in their natures, grow to wildness, even so our houses, and ourselves, and children have lost or do not learn for want of time the sciences that should become our country, but grow like savages, as soldiers will, that nothing do but meditate on blood, to swearing and stern looks, diffused attire, and everything that seems unnatural. Which to reduce into our former favour you are assembled, and my speech entreats that I may know the let, why gentle peace should not expel these inconveniences and bless us with her former qualities.
And after that speech from the ambassador, the French king and the court, then I think, in my memory, would encourage the princess and Henry V to walk in a garden, or to spend time privately to see if they'll get on. Fair Catherine, and most fair. Will you vouchsafe to teach a soldier terms such as will enter at a lady's ear and plead his love suit to her gentle heart?
Your Majesty shall mock at me. I cannot speak your England.
Oh, fair Catherine, if you will love me soundly with your French heart, I'll be glad to hear you confess it brokenly with your English tongue. Do you like me, Kate?
Pardonnez-moi, I cannot tell what is like me.
An angel is like you, Kate, and you are like an angel.
Que dit-il que je suis semblable à les anges?
Oui, vraiment, sauf orthographe. Ainsi dit-il.
I said so, dear Catherine, and I must not blush to affirm it.
Mon Dieu, les langues des hommes sont pleines de tromperies.
What says she, fair one? That the tongues of men are full of deceit?
Oui, that the tongue of the man is be full of deceit. That is the princess.
The princess is the better Englishwoman. I' faith, Kate, my wooing is fit for thy understanding. I'm glad thou canst speak no better English, for if thou couldst, thou wouldst find me such a plain king, thou wouldst think I'd sold my farm to buy my crown. I know no ways to mince it in love, but directly to say I love you. Then if you urge me farther than to say, do you in faith, I wear out my suit. Give me your answer, in faith do, and so clap hands in a bargain. How say you, lady?
Sauf votre honneur. Me understand well.
Mary, if you would put me to verses or to dance for your sake, Kate, why you undid me. For the one I have neither words nor measure, and for the other I have no strength in measure, yet a reasonable measure in strength. If I could win a lady at leapfrog, or by vaulting into my saddle with my armour on my back, under the correction of bragging be it spoken, I should quickly leap into a wife. Or if I might buffet for my love, or bound my horse for her favours, I could lay on like a butcher, and sit like a Japanese, never off. But before God, Kate, I cannot look greenly, nor gasp out my eloquence, nor I have no cunning in protestation, only downright oath, which I never use till urged, nor never break for urging. If thou canst love a fellow of this temper, Kate, whose face is not worth sunburning, that never looks in his glass for love of anything he sees there, let thine eye be thy cook. I speak to thee, plain soldier. If thou canst love me for this, take me. If not, to say to thee that I shall die is true, but for thy love, by the Lord, no. Yet I love thee too. And while thou livest, dear Kate, take a fellow of plain and uncoined constancy, for he perforce must do thee right, because he hath not the gift to woo in other places. For these fellows of infinite tongue, that can rhyme themselves into ladies' favours, they do always reason themselves out again. What? A speaker's but a prater, a rhyme is but a ballad, a good leg will fall, a straight back will stoop, a black beard will turn white, a curled pate will grow bald, a fair face will wither, a full eye will wax hollow, but a good heart, Kate, is the sun and the moon. Or rather, the sun and not the moon. For it shines bright and never changes, but keeps its course truly. If thou would have such a one, take me, and take me, take a soldier, take a king, and what sayest thou then to my love? Speak, my fair, and fairly I pray thee.
Is it possible that I should love the enemy de France?
No. It's not possible you should love the enemy of France, Kate, but in loving me, you should love the friend of France. For I love France so well that I will not part with a village of it. I'll have it all mine. And Kate, when France is mine and I am yours, then yours is France and you are mine.
I cannot tell what is that.
No, Kate? I'll tell you in French, which I'm sure will hang upon my tongue like a new married wife about her husband's neck, hardly to be shook off. Je crois sur la possession de France et quand vous avez la possession de moi. Let me see. What then? Oh, St. Denis, be my speed. Donc, votre est France et vous êtes mien. It's as easy for me, Kate, to conquer the kingdom as to speak so much more French. I shall never move thee in French unless it be to laugh at.
Oh, sauf votre honneur, le français que vous parlez est meilleur que l'anglais que je parle.
No faith, it's not, Kate. But thy speaking of my tongue and I thine most truly, falsely, must needs be granted to be much at one. But Kate, dost thou understand thus much English? Canst thou love me?
I cannot tell.
Can any of your neighbours tell, Kate? I'll ask them. Come, I know thou lovest me, and at night when you come into your closet, you'll question this gentlewoman about me, and I know, Kate, you will too her dispraise those parts in me that you love with your heart. But, good Kate, mock me mercifully, the rather gentle princess, because I love thee cruelly. If ever thou beest mine, Kate, as I have a saving faith within me tells me that thou shalt, I get thee with scambling, and thou must therefore needs prove a good soldier breeder. Thou shalt not thou and I, between St. Denis and St. George, compound a boy, half French, half English, that shall go to Constantinople and take the Turk by the beard. Shall we not? What sayest thou, my fair flower de luce?
I do not know that.
No? 'Tis hereafter to know, but now to promise. Do but now promise, Kate, you will endeavour for your French part of such a boy, and for my English moiety take the word of a king and a bachelor. How answer you? La plus belle Catherine du monde, mon très cher et divin déesse.
Your Majesty avec false French enough to deceive the most sage demoiselle that is en France.
Now, woe fie upon my false French. By mine honour in true English, I love thee, Kate. By which honour I dare not swear thou lovest me, yet my blood begins to flatter me that thou dost, notwithstanding the poor and untempering effect of my visage. Now beshrew my father's ambition. He was thinking of civil wars when he got me. Therefore was I created with the stubborn outside and an aspect of iron that when I come to woo ladies, I fright them. But in faith, Kate, the elder I wax, the better I shall appear. My comfort is that old age, that ill layer-up of beauty can do no more spoil upon my face. Thou hast me, if thou hast me, at the worst. And thou shalt wear me, if thou wear me, better and better. And therefore tell me, most fair Catherine, will you have me? Put off your maiden blushes, avouch the thoughts of your heart with the looks of an empress. Take me by the hand and say, Harry of England, I am thine. Which word thou shalt no sooner bless mine ears withal, but I will tell thee aloud, England is thine, Ireland is thine, France is thine, and Harry Plantagenet is thine. Who though I speak it before his face, if he be not fellow with the best king, thou shalt find the best king of good fellows. Come, your answer in broken music, for thy voice is music, and thy English broken. Therefore, Queen of all, Catherine, break thy mind to me in broken English. Wilt thou have me?
That is as it shall please le roi, mon père.
Nay, it'll please him well, Kate. It shall please him, Kate.
Then it shall also content me.
Upon that, I kiss your hand and call you my queen.
Oh, laissez, monseigneur, laissez. Ma foi, je ne veux point que vous abaissiez votre grandeur en baisant la main d'une de votre seigneurie indigne serviteur. Excusez-moi, je vous supplie, mon très puissant seigneur.
Well, then I'll kiss your lips, Kate.
Oh, les dames et demoiselles pour être baisées devant leurs noces, il n'est pas leur coutume en France.
Madam, my interpreter, what says she?
That it is not be the fashion pour les ladies de France. I cannot tell what is baiser en English.
To kiss.
Your Majesty entend better que moi.
It's not the fashion for the maids in France to kiss before they marry, would she say?
Oui, vraiment.
Oh, Kate. Nice customs curtsy to great kings. Dear Kate, you and I cannot be confined within the weak list of a country's fashion. We're the makers of manners, Kate, and the liberty that follows our places stops the mouth of all fined faults, as I will do yours for upholding the nice fashion of your country in denying me a kiss. Therefore, patiently and yielding. And he kisses her. You have witchcraft in your lips, Kate. There's more eloquence in a sugar touch of them than in the tongues of the French council. And they should sooner persuade Harry of England than a general petition of monarchs. Here comes your father.